Getting started. Start with a bang. Audacious mornings. Every morning, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. The sound of audacity.
All right, so it's just gone a touch after 10 o'clock, and we continue shining a light at audacious women doing audacious things in our audacious hangouts. Yonke into Monday is calling audacious everything. And speaking of audacious, we have Mahlodi Kgatle who joins us in the studio. She's a social entrepreneur, CEO, a community leader, and is quite passionate about the upliftment of women. And we're shining a light on her today as we are celebrating Women's Day. Thank you so very much for your time. How are you today?
I'm blessed. I'm so
Yes.
excited. As you can see, I'm even in alignment.
Hey,
how I'm
wena.
dressed.
Lalela.
The stars are aligned.
Yonke into iyahlangana, yonke into iyahlangana. So you walk into a room and you introduce yourself as Mahlodi. Who is Mahlodi?
Mahlodi is a girl with a heart for social impact.
Yeah.
She is driven by solutions and she has a soul for public speaking.
Oh, wow.
I'm that young person who got into trouble a lot for talking when I was young.
Were you kicked out of class?
I was kicked out of
Were you-
class. I did well academically, but the challenge was always talking.
Hey, wena.
Magati, people, I'm going out. I'll be back.
Yeah.
You write a list of names of those who are talking. I'm at the
Number
top
one,
of that list.
Number one.
And I actually recalled a memory of this other time when my father just asked me, will it pain you to just keep a low profile?
Yeah.
And it shocked me because this man is a teacher. It's in him to speak. He captivates rooms everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
So I'm just an extension of him.
Yeah.
So that is who Mahlodi is. Yeah.
And let's talk about, now when you look back, you never would have known that, hey, being this chatterbox, being this person who loves to command a presence in the classroom could lead you to where you are now. Talk to us about how that was nurtured, though, in your youth. I always find that teachers are such a great gift because they're
Yo.
able to identify things in us that we don't even know are there. Teachers who say to you, you have such a great presence, maybe recommending books for you to read, maybe asking you to take the lead if there's any kind of orals and essays that are done in presentations and all of that. Talk to us about how that was nurtured from a young age.
When you use the word nurtured, you speak to the core of my being because
Yeah.
I've been so blessed to have teachers that saw that as a gift.
Yeah.
I want to divert a little bit and go to a social media video that I saw a couple of days where this young girl was at a birthday party and
I
she
saw
was
that.
you saw that
Yeah.
video and she was speaking so eloquently
Yeah,
and energetically.
loved it.
Ngiyabonga, guys, thank you
Yeah,
for coming
thank
to
you,
my party.
guys.
But when I read the comments,
Yeah.
it was so negative.
was
It was
nasty.
filled with people saying, "We are papa lomntwana. Why doesn't she know her place in society?" We need to change as black people.
Absolutely.
Hey, all that child needs is nurturing.
Yeah.
All that child needs is a leader, a mentor,
Support.
a teacher, a parent that can support and say, we see your gift, we see your because that is a gift.
Yeah,
To be able to stand
absolutely.
up like that
Yeah.
at that young age.
Yeah.
So I had the privilege and the blessing of support from teachers who saw this. When my father said, Hlodi, keep a low profile, my
Yeah.
child. My teacher said, it's okay.
Yeah.
Let's enroll her for Eisteddfods. Let's put her on the stage. Let her do poetry. So from a very young age, I was probably in grade 2
Yeah.
when I did my first Eisteddfod, which is prepared poetry that you go and compete at
Yeah.
other schools. And fast track to high school. When I got to high school, I was that learner when the teacher said, it's time for speech.
Yeah.
You know when your classmates say, "Hi, ma'am, give me 0." Give me 0, ma'am.
Yeah.
I was like, what? We get to do speeches? Bring it on. And, I'll never forget my grade 8 teacher, Mrs. Jackson, my English teacher, who was the first teacher that actually recognized that this is a talent. You've
Sure.
got this talent for public speaking.
Yeah.
Let's run with it.
Yeah.
So my journey with public speaking started in high school, and that's where it was really nurtured by my teachers. And I think my parents caught on
Yeah.
when they realized the awards are coming in
Sure.
and that this child is spending so many hours after school. My dad would often ask, what time are you coming home? Papa, ka 5. King, get public speaking.
Yeah.
And so it's two fundamental teachers, Mrs. Jackson, my grade 8 teacher, and Mrs. Grobler, my Afrikaans teacher, who said, I think there's something there.
Yeah.
Let's do what you're doing in English, in Afrikaans.
Yeah.
And I competed in a national public speaking competition
in
Afrikaans, and I won.
That is crazy. Say something in Afrikaans so we know it's real.
Ek praat suiwer Afrikaans.
Oh, wow. you could be cussing me out and I wouldn't know the difference. It's like when I left school, I left Afrikaans there. Let's talk about the Obama Young African Leaders Initiative. I mean, that is big. How did that opportunity come about?
So that came about when I was still in varsity, and I now realized that a lot of young people are looking for some kind of inspiration, motivation to just break out of their shells. So because I won that competition in my matric, when I got to varsity, I started getting DMs on social media from parents, from school teachers that said, hey, look, our students are struggling, help them. And I used to do that on a one-on-one consultation basis. And that's really where the business was born. That's when Speakingdom was born. That's when I realized that not only is this an opportunity to uplift by helping other people, but there's money to be made here because we need to sustain ourselves, right? So Speakingdom was born, but it wasn't registered as an entity yet. And through the work that I was doing with Speakingdom, I then got the recognition to join the Obama Young Leaders Initiative. And it was really a platform for me as a young leader to engage and meet with other young leaders within the SADC region that are doing incredible things in the civil society, in the public management space, as well as business.
And in terms of your business then, if you can share, this is your moment to really floss on us, tell us exactly the kind of impact that you have had, your bragging moments, things that come to mind immediately for you as being wins within your journey.
Thank you for that. There's been a lot in a short space of time that we've had, but I think the most significant one was hosting our very first Indigenous languages public speaking competition. And that was done in the year of COVID. So that December, when we got that respite, remember there was that now you can go out, that small window. And, that was an amazing opportunity for us where we got funding. A sponsorship by Sothar Pictures that sponsored us to host our very first public speaking competition. Why this was significant to host it in Indigenous languages is because I grew up in Tembisa. When I go back home after school, this is the young me, go back home after school, I almost have to as I take off my blazer and my school uniform, I'm also taking off that Afrikaans-speaking girl, the English-speaking girl, and I am one with my people. Nsekasi, right? But I also then realized that because of the environment that we're in as young Black children, we also then tend to have that inferiority complex. Because Nsekasi, because I don't speak English, because I can't articulate my thoughts in a certain manner, then I am not worthy. So when we initially went to speak to schools and consult about hosting a public speaking competition, our agenda was to host an English speaking competition. And then in our workshops with the young people, the feedback that we were getting was, this is not for me, ma'am. I don't think I can do it. But why? Hey, members on And then we said, but why not do it in your own language? So we called it the Kasi Legends Public Speaking Competition. And you should see the look on those children's faces for them to stand up there, articulate themselves in their vernac home language, mother tongue. And I'm telling you, so that was one great win. The second one would be the launch of our present day leaders leadership training. How that came about was growing up, my business partner and I were also privileged to hold leadership positions at school. You'll know you'll be good academically, then your principal says, go and be a prefect.
Sure.
But who gave you prefect training? Who says you're a leader
Yeah.
just because you got 80% in English? So the aim of this training is to really harness the leadership potential of our young people through communication skills, critical thinking, problem solving, self-love as a leader. So we've also launched that program. And thirdly, something that is very close to my heart is the Work While Waiting Workplace Readiness Program.
Okay, tell us more.
So this is an initiative that we championed this year, actually, in June, being Youth Month. And this was inspired by my own experience, having been unemployed before. So when I finished my varsity studies, I had an internship that was quickly coming to an end. I think it was probably November. Internship is ending. What's going to happen in January when I don't have a job? Remember, I'm the firstborn daughter. My family's looking at me like, hey.
Their expectations, of course. Something must happen.
You know, we sent you to school. Your siblings are coming after you. What must happen? So that period of unemployment was so difficult. And I think a lot of young South Africans can relate to this, that it's nice to speak about unemployment stats from a place of privilege and say 4.9 million South Africans are unemployed. But when you face that reality, you realize that it's not a joke. It's not a joke to wake up every day and send job applications. It's not a joke for people to have the audacity to ask you, Maria, apply. Are you applying? And you think, why would I sit? I've got this qualification. Why would I want to intentionally sit on this qualification? So the Work While Waiting Workplace Readiness Program is a program that inculcates the culture of effective communication. And this was born out of my frustration with the job application process. I'm waiting for this job. It's not coming. What can I do in the interim? In that period, I was able to acquire different skills, like critical thinking skills, communication skills, which are skills that served me in the role that I ultimately got when I got employed. So our program is doing the same. So we're doing focusing on communication effectiveness, and we had an 8-week program where every week we focused on an aspect of effective communication, from personal branding to how to put together a professional presentation. Because a lot of us go through school, but who's teaching you how to do soft all these skills. Things that are, you know, called soft skills, but are actually power skills, if you think about it.
Absolutely.
Because the ability to stand in front of an audience and present yourself at an interview, to present your ideas in front of a board of directors or whatever the audience is, it takes capacity building.
For sure.
So that's the program that we ran, and ma'am, my heart is overflowing with gratitude for the impact that it has made on our cohort. So we had a cohort of 20 young people that joined the program. Only 10 graduated because 10 fell by the wayside. They didn't complete all the assessments. But we are here for the 10 that did, hey?
That showed commitment.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure, you guys are doing a lot of great things. Goodness me. Talk to me about what it's like being not just Mahlodi, but just being a woman in 2024, right? Celebrating 30 years of democracy. We have a lot to be grateful for. A lot of strides have been made in terms of advancing women's rights and you know, strengthening women empowerment. What does it feel like realistically being a woman in 2024 and looking at all the possibilities?
It's a tyranny. It's you're happy and excited in one moment, and then the other you think there's still so much work to be done.
There's more,
But I think what overrides the entire sentiment for me is you just have to have purpose.
Absolutely.
Purpose needs to be your guiding light. It needs to be your reason for getting out of bed. It needs to be the reason that you live.
Yeah.
Because without purpose, then it's easy to get swayed and discouraged by all the challenges that we're facing, which
Yeah.
rightfully so. Our country is 30 years young as a democracy, but we've still got so many challenges. Unemployment is one of them that I've named.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to find your purpose.
Yeah.
And I often say to young people who ask, recently I was attending a leadership summit, and my take or my offer to the audience was, based on J.F. Kennedy's 1961 inaugural speech, where he said to the Americans, don't ask what this country can do for you. Ask what you can do for this country.
Love that.
Our role as women is to wake up, have a purpose, and ask what we can do for this country. Because in as much as we're still lagging behind in those pay scales, gender pay parity is non-existent.
Yeah.
There are so many challenges that we can list, but if you find and articulate your purpose, you'll realize that you have the ability to change something in your community.
Shift into encane.
Shift into encane, and don't wait for the resources.
Yeah.
And people might say that I'm speaking from a place of privilege, but there's something that you can do about the challenges that exist in and around you. So find your purpose. So I think, to answer your question, the word is excited, because I'm walking in my purpose.
Walking in my purpose. Goodness me. Sure. People who want to link up with you, find out more about the work that you do, want to plug in maybe themselves or maybe their loved ones in terms of the program that you're speaking about that addresses, unemployment. I think that's such a huge, huge issue that many people are faced with. You might know someone in your family, all of that. Where can people find more information? Where can they find more details? Are you on social media? Do you have a presence there? All of that.
Absolutely. If you're not on social media,
Wenzani.
Why?
Wenzani.
Why figure late?
Why? Love it.
So they can definitely find us on the socials. On Instagram, it's at speakkingdom_ZA. So speaking, think the word speaking, kingdom as one word. Speakkingdom_ZA on Facebook and Instagram, as well as LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is the career portal for everyone worldwide. So they can find us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, but they can also check out our website, Speakkingdom, www.speakkingdom.org. One thing that I didn't mention is the public speaking training that we do. So we also offer public speaking training, not just for young people, but for established career professionals, executives, business owners that are looking to just up their game. How do you
can
run
always
a business?
sharpen your tool, right?
How do you run a business and you can't speak about it? So they can definitely check us out on the socials and on our website.
Speakkingdom everywhere. Socials, website, find them. Shoo, thoroughly enjoyed my time getting to know you, Mahlodi Kgatle, who is a social entrepreneur, CEO, and community builder. Thank you so very much. Happy Women's Day in advance.
Happy.
Happy.